Welcome to Material Musings, where the fabrics tell their tales. Eco-dyed colors from the garden, slow stitches where the heart exhales. Painting cloth and weaving stories, wall hangings blooming bright. Come create with Amanda, where your creativity takes flight.
Hello and welcome to Material Musings. I hope that you are well, and wherever it finds you today, that you can find your way back to a place of peace, gratitude, fulfillment, and that you realize that everything that you've been given, all of the gifts and the talents and the resources that you currently have, are there to be a blessing, not only to yourself, but to somebody else who you can inspire, who you can encourage, who may be even feeling like way off their game. And I say that because I was feeling slightly out of, derailed. The tracks, derailed from the tracks, but not quite off the tracks. And I was going to do something else for Material Musings. I've got my, we talked in the last episode about scraps and things that you could do, and I did show you the beads. And so I decided just to get some memory wire and create these pieces. Just to, it's just like they're there. You've had these beads for years and you've never used them. Why not make some, these wearable art even? And what I'll probably go back in and do is add some tiny seed beads to these. I thought, yeah, that's what it needs just to really pick it up. I like the yellow. That's one of my colours. I don't wear it so often nowadays. I don't really have very many things in yellow, but I do like bright colours, and I think reds, and I was going to say dusty pink, but what is it, dusty or dusky pink? Anyway, there are some of the colours that are really, set your skin off, and the tones in your skin, because, we have so many colours that make up the colours that you can see. But when you highlight them with, different fabrics, wearing different things, I'm wearing a dark kind of dress at the moment, so you rely on the accessories. Anyway, so I was going to do some making, but I thought I'll share with you one of the ways in which, if I'm feeling off, what I would do. Now, there's some of the ways in which, slow stitching, go straight into that. Think about one of the projects you're making. Sometimes I don't feel like, there may be a project that it's making you feel overwhelmed. Like even my large kawandi at the moment, I didn't bring it over here. I'm now working on the faces, and I guess maybe I should just go through what I said I was going to go through, which is some of the couching on some of the areas. I said that in one of the videos. So around outlining some of the figures. But it's just like, it's not something that I've done on large scale, on a piece of some work that I'm working on. But yeah, these filled me with joy. I think I do need something just to kind of hold it there, because it's memory wire. The tendency is to do that. It was initially a bracelet, but then when I finished it off, I realized that I needed to have more. And then this one, I'm realizing that the beads are quite heavy, so I might have to just look. It's a nice idea, which I might just keep, actually. It's like I can just wear it on certain occasions, but definitely get some small beads on there and just kind of bring it up, just make them more glistening. And for me, it was the metal. I can't have metal or even gold or silver on my skin. It has to be plastic. Plastic or leather is good. Yeah. There's some cords you can get that are made from paper, but I have to be careful. So fabric is preferable. And this is a combination of the fabrics. And I was just mindful that the wire itself, the metal, if that touches my skin, so wherever it touches, it comes up in a rash. So I just have to be careful. But one of the other things that I would do is, so not only slow stitching, let's all talk about the fabric projects. Look through, and I haven't done that in a while, look through some of my fabric supplies, and often going through them, trying them out, you know, thinking, ooh, and that's, I guess, why I created this, because I was thinking, ooh, I want to make something with the memory wire, and I thought those fabric beads I shared last time, they would be perfect. What kind of beads have I got? And I was going for smaller beads, but then these, it's actually, I think I like them. And then I like the wispiness of this is like yarn. But again, if you kind of incorporate that with beads, this is going to look amazing. So it's a beginning. And here's another idea, which this can kind of, the way that this can go is one of my online artist friends, she made this. So you can see it's like crochet, and then you've got a beads attachment, and I just love the way that it's just this collection, and then the difference in the stitch. You got some different yarn here, and it's just a really nice, that would definitely make a nice necklace even. Ooh, maybe that's what I'll do. So I just need to create maybe something similar here to create an attachment, so that I can, you know, just put it on even just a leather thing and have it around your neck. But yeah, so I can see something similar to that on here. That would look amazing. Yeah. And then as I was making it, I think I've used up all but 2 of these beads. It's interesting how they've kind of decided, you know, 3 and 3 like that. And then I was just like, oh no, but what if somebody asks me, you know, I really love your thing, you know, and I say, oh yes, I made it. And they say, oh, can you make, do you have any more? And it's just like, oh no, I've used up all the beads. But again, you know, any large beads you can take, and it's about this exercise with the fabric and looking at how we reuse fabric and create things that make us feel good. It's about using up what you got and making room for even more. So another way that I would encourage myself, so I did encourage myself with these. I was a bit like, oh no, oh no. I was trying to sound like it's Kevin Hart. Oh no. It just needed another, I probably needed to use the last 2 beads, and it just needed to just wrap again a bit more, so that these were both kind of not necessarily joint, but they meet. So maybe here, they both finish here. So this one will finish here, and then this one finish here, and then it would feel more kind of complete. But again, the reason why it feels like this, and it feels like, you know, that can happen, is because the beads are very heavy. This is my first one. I've made some smaller ones. I've made some before. My others. So the others that I made are next door. I used lighter beads, and it has a different feel. So I'm thinking, do you know what? All those wooden beads that I was looking at, I'm going to maybe get those and do something with those. Anyway, so the other thing that I do is look at finished projects, and I realized that I hadn't actually like closed off last year for myself, even not even for, you know, because I remember saying, you know, right, we're going to do a Kawandi, and it's going to be we'll just take it into the year and all of this kind of stuff. But looking through the pieces that you've done, and the way I was framing it in my mind was, look how far you've come. Now, you know, all of these pieces, time has gone into them, and you have to celebrate where you are. You have to celebrate all that you've learned. And when I look at these pieces, I can see, you know, techniques that I've learned, and things that I've kind of adjusted for me, put in place. And so what we're going to do for the rest of the time is we're just going to look through some of these things, and I'll share I'll share them with you, and just kind of talk about not even some of the emotions, but I hope it uplifts you, seeing some of these things and seeing that. Anyway, so let's look at some of these pieces, and I hope that they encourage you. I'm going to be putting them on my website, and if you are interested, they're going to be sold without that. I normally do like a dowel to hang them, but what I'll do is have the backing, so if you want to put a dowel in, you can do that, or you can frame them. Yeah, get box frame, you can frame it. That's probably for the smaller pieces, I think it's probably maybe preferable, because you don't want them to I was going to say, you don't want them to get dusty. Not that I'm saying that you might have a dusty place, but like we have the Sahara dust coming in every now and again, and it leaves a fine layer on everything. So where I am, you could be like, all my sculptures are like, really? So you have to be kind of dusted, like with a feather duster. And on sculptures and things like that, and all the artwork, the wood, everything, it's just like. And then you've got Cole, who, even though he's a short-haired, he's a mix of Akita and Pitbull. And sometimes he was standing today, you know, like the Pitbull stance. It was just like, why are you standing like that? He's getting old, so he's also, it seems like he's experiencing trouble going up the stairs. So I've started him on a round of cod liver oil, and he gets moringa. He does like moringa. And I've just started to give him more. He used to be vegetarian, actually. When I first, well, he's not even mine, he's my son's. So when we first got him, and it does make a difference. So I was, you know, he was getting a lot of protein. He loved, like, you know, oats. He loved lentils, brown rice. I did try the white rice. It just made his stomach run. And then the vegetables. So he had a really good balanced diet, and it really, you know, he seemed to enjoy it, seemed to be fine. Then I introduced some meats. And it's just like with the babies, when babies start on their solids, the smell from their poo is just like, oh my gosh. Anyway, let's not go down that road, but I have to be making sure that I give him, you know, increased amount of protein, calcium, and stuff for the bones. And as he gets older, you know, you got rheumatism and all of this, and yeah, he's not moving around as he would normally. Anyway, so let's look at the fabrics, and I hope that they inspire you. And even as I just said that, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I do want to try some crocheted earrings, so I might do that, and next time come back and show you something. But it's a celebration for me of how far I've come in the work, all the things that I've done, and things that have interest me. Some things I've started and just left, and that's fine. You know, you go with what you're feeling. So yeah, let's move now to the table where I am. And I hope that you're inspired, and I look forward to connecting with you in the comments. And check out some of my other links. Come and find me on some of the other places that I'm at, and see some of the other things that I do. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so this is one of the other things that I wanted to show you. When I showed you this kind of almost not basket, but fabric bowl, fabric container. Yeah, I wanted to show you, because I showed you these three, made it in a similar sort of way, with a lot of the fraying fibres, and then this one was just some lace that I had. And yeah, these kind of small things, especially made out of the scraps, are things that can, take your mind off the things that are bothering you, or you're upset about, or you just really need to get yourself back into a position where you feel like you've got the energy to pick yourself up and do something that needs to be done. Yeah, and this was one that I had made. It's done in the style of a kawandi, but so I use the same technique in terms of the scrap fabric. And so this is a collection of all the fabrics, some written, some dyed, hand dyed, some of the man-made fibers, and they're in here. And here's in the middle I put some cardboard to keep it stiff. I haven't yet decided what I wanted to put in it, but it brought joy seeing this come to fruition. Yeah, that's probably too big. I'm just like, why is it fitting like that? But so I'll probably go in there. Okay, look at that. But so this was fun to make, and again, you don't have to be making anything with this is what it's for reason. You can just make, yeah. And I do it all the time. And often what you find is you make something and then it becomes useful further down the line. Okay, so I reminded myself about my first two kawandis, and I made them from handkerchiefs. My dad used to use handkerchiefs. And you can see the little patterns on the back. And yeah, these were my first, and I'll probably maybe even do something with these. They could become a journal cover. I actually prefer a larger size journal like this, 8 by, what size is this? Oh, 6 by 10. But yeah, I hadn't decided what I was going to do with them. I was just so pleased that I could do it, and then it was just like, yeah, sure, I'll make a larger one. And I'm just going to go through them one by one. This is a nice reminder for me. And it's one that still needs finishing, but I haven't felt like doing it. So, although looking at the pinks that we can see, yeah. So looking at the pinks that we can see, maybe I'll introduce a pink thread in here and do some stitching. I thought I had some close to hand. Yeah, so maybe I'll do some pink stitching and add some pink beads, and maybe that will, sometimes you can be inspired by just a change of colour, changing directions, or look, even finding some beads, fabric beads that have been painted pink. And maybe I need to spend time in this, looking at this phrase, "You are loved," and know that, it's just giving me a gentle reminder. And sometimes that, again, is all you need. And So this one isn't finished, but the next ones, the ones that you're going to see next, are finished. And just, oh, look at this. Oh my gosh, doesn't that look gorgeous? So this was, I was doing some jelly printing. The fabric anyway had been tea dyed and turmeric dyed, and then I decided to use it on this, and I was using a jelly plate, and these designs are from the jelly plate, and I'd made my own stamps, so I did some stamping here, and I really enjoyed that. And we've got the word choice on it, and it's to remember that we have a choice. We can always choose to do something, and anything that you do, you've made a choice. If you don't do anything, that's a choice that you've made. You know, some people might say, oh no, you know, but I didn't decide either way, and it's just like, well, that was a choice you made. You know, let's have a look. Ooh, see, I'm being picked up already. I'll do it sideways first so you can see everything. I love these pieces. I do love them. But I know that somebody's looking at this and it's just filling them with so much joy. So much. They look at it and they're just in love with it. They just love the colour. Let me come in. They love the colour. They love everything about it. And I make for myself, and I make because I know the power that creativity has on our health and well-being. And I know that somebody would look at this and just be, that's the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. So as I said, these will be going on my website. Not sure that the hopefully the photographs will do it justice, and yeah, all the details will be there, but within the next couple of weeks. Okay, what have we got here? Is this? Oh, look at the back. I like this fabric as well. This was for something else. Oh, maybe I had made this for this. I do like this, but maybe. But as I say, these can be framed. Yeah, maybe I was going to attach it, but then changed my mind. But that's that one. Here's a nice one. One of my figures. So we've got wax resist, dyed, painted. This is, yeah, all wax resist. And then we've got the stitches. And I really like this one, yeah. I mean, if you see something before, and you just leave a message, I can let you know how much they are. And the back of this, it's got the bits to put a dowel in, but again, these pieces that are, you know, wax resist and the slow stitch pieces, I think framing them will show them off to their beauty, and it will keep the it will protect them. And maybe even a like plexiglass, like a plexiglass frame, and you can see both sides, you know, with some of them if you want. Yeah. Ooh, this was my next size up Kawandi. I think it was this way, yeah. And what I decided to do when I was making this, I'm gonna have to put my fan on because it's kind of toasty in here. What I decided to do was to take every single piece of fabric that I had hand dyed. A lot of them have been wax resist, but that I had dyed them as well, and add them here. So now I've got this, it's almost like a sampler, but it's just a nice example of all the pieces and some favourite pieces like these ones. I liked the material and this. The material, actually I like all of them. I need to take this off for now. Yeah, but I haven't decided what I wanted to make with this, and maybe I just again frame it, because as I say, it's practically every single piece that I've dyed to date, and I'm sure I'm going to be dyeing some more fabric, so I'll probably need to make another one. Making our way, journey. And this one, I really like this fabric. It's like upholstery fabric, and then we've got hand dyed fabric, again wax resist. We've got one of my digital stamps. I think you can get this one as a art foamy as well, but we've got stitching, lots of stitching, lovely stitching, and beading. And yeah, this one, I think, yeah, you would put it in a nice box frame. There's some nice frames you can get, although, as I say, I have done the bit for the back. But yeah, this would be nice in a frame. And I've just done, yeah, a selection, quite a different selection of small stitches, long stitches, close together, different patterns. And sometimes just looking at a piece, you remember how good you were feeling when you did it. So all of these do have a positive emotion, and then the amount of time you spend on a piece, it's almost like you're in meditation and you're just thinking good thoughts and thinking like, this was, I had stitched a whole load of other small words, and then they find their way into some of the large pieces. Now, isn't it just as well I decided to do this, because I'm finding pieces that I even totally forgot about. It was marked in a bin, marked projects. But let's see, yeah, projects to complete, but it's one that I didn't get down to. So some more handmade beads. Ooh, I think I will work on this one next. I like it. And we've got some interesting beads here as well. And so I put the beads in a packet of what I want to use. And so yeah, I might work on that one next. We'll see. And on the packet I normally just put what next needs to be done. So here's one that's, you know, practically, I think it's finished. And with the beads, I'm not sure about these beads now. I like them, but I'm not sure about for this project. And it looks like, oh, I was going to say it looked like one came off. It's just that it just seems unbalanced here. Along here, you would probably need some beads. And yeah, so we'll see. And the beads at the bottom. So So this is a nice one filled with, yeah, lots of just different stitches there. Here's one I really liked. I was trying to get a kind of indigo feel. It's just a blue conventional dye. And we've got some fading around here. So this is one that would need to be framed and not put in direct sunlight. So we've got this down here. But I really enjoyed working on it. There's a lot of stitches. This is then, it was wax resist, then I did the stitching. And we've got a, the hanger is made from mahogany wood. I've got a mahogany tree, and when I get it trimmed, obviously the branches, so I worked on this one, but you wouldn't be able to, you can't really ship wood unless you've got a license or something. I tried sending one of my pieces and they cut, it was a frame, no, it wasn't a framed, it was a sculpture, but it had a wooden stand and they cut the stand. It's just like, okay, it makes sense. Anyway, so that's this one. And it's hand stitched and machine stitched. But I would go, yeah, round and do something about these areas that have kind of died. Maybe put some additional stuff to incorporate the faded look as a part of the experience. Okay, let's have a look what we got here. It's like Christmas. Ooh, so these are ones that, yeah, I made quite a while ago. I still do like making faces, and I hadn't done, so this one's got a backing. This one, these are nice to be framed, and they're just, you know, collections of women in different scenarios. They were, these images were found in the piece. So I like working on pieces and finding the rest a while. This one's called Rest a While. But finding the image in the background is something that I like to do, and then I started doing it with stitch pieces, so I'm really pleased about those and how these came out. So again, some ones that just need some last bits and then go onto the website. Ooh. See, I'm feeling really good already, because it's just seeing all these things. It doesn't fill me with, oh my gosh, I've got so much to do, but it's just like, am I ready to work on you? Are you ready to be worked on? This one is. I like the feeling of this one, and the colours, the fabric. Yeah, I do like that. We've got, again, wax resist. This is wax resist as well. And then the rest is just fabric that I've incorporated. It's a figure. It's, that needs a backing. So I think one of the things that I will do is just get some backing fabric and just spend some time, you know, seeing what have I got and what can be then moved on to the next stage. Is that one? There's another small one. Oh, I really like this. Again, another nice one that can be framed. It's got bead in. Come in. Yeah, get a good look. This is wax resist with clay. I loved these pieces, and I use them very sparingly. And then we've got that same kind of, the technique I was trying to get was like the indigo. And then this is the African fabric we've got here, and just snippets in here, beading. Gorgeous. Here's another piece I worked on a while back. I think the last thing I did to this was add the beading. I didn't really want to add stitches, the bead around here, much around here, but I added the beading, and that's probably ready to kind of go out. I just need to sort out this bit where I've curved this side and not done anything here. So maybe I do need to add, you know, a little bit more, but I wanted you to see the beauty of the wax resist and the figure that was within this piece. Right, so these are done with the same technique, but it's interesting how when you just use different fabric, you get a whole different look. Now, I really like these, and I've sat on them because I wasn't sure where to take them. So I started to do some beading, but maybe I just don't have the right beads. Maybe I need to find the beads. Maybe some of my wooden beads would go well with this. You need kind of like an earthy kind of feel. Maybe these beads aren't right. That's why it's not feeling as I feel it should feel. There's two parts to this. That's the other one. Slightly different in obviously the way you layer the fabrics underneath, and then you stitch and then allow the threads to come poking through. So a lot more of the reds came out here, and there was a lot more reds in this piece and a bit more down here. And maybe it doesn't need beading. You know, I'm trying to be, maybe I'm trying to bead something that actually just needs to sit in its what it is. Maybe that's it. But yeah, I do want to get it finished. And I've just got the other bits, like the binding bit. Anyway, so that's that one. The technique. So what have we got here? So this is another example of using scraps. It's not a kawandi. I've just taken bits of fabric and stitched on this piece. And yeah, it just needs to be stitched. Nothing fancy. Just to decide whether to take this here or something else. And then this one, ooh, what is it? Oh gosh, I haven't seen you in a while, girl. Wax resist. We've got lots of French knots in here, figures, beading. Yeah, she needs to be released and finished. We've got the backing fabric, so there's no excuse. Okay, so we're going to be working on this as well. I'll see how many I can get done, but you know how it is, how sometimes this is the, I'm not even sure, oh, I know what this is. This was a portrait I did of somebody. It was for a commission, and then it wasn't selected. So if you know somebody that looks like this, maybe you could get it for them. Oh dear, this was my first kind of portrait. I was inspired by Visa Butler. It's very different from her style, you know, obviously in terms of the amount of layers she puts in her piece. But I think by the end it was just like, you know what, I just need to finish this. I need to finish this. It's interesting, putting the beads there. What was I thinking? Got beads at the back. Cool, look at the back. You can see the back. Yeah, so it's got the bit that you can hang, but this would be one that you would frame. You would frame it, I think. And yeah, so if you know somebody that looks like this and you want to get them a fabric portrait of themselves, it's just like, oh my gosh, it looks so much like you. Yeah, and I am going to try and do another one because I do like creating the portraits, but I'll probably use a lot more of my figures. So my digital art figures, I'll probably use some of them. Oh, this has got... So yeah, when you look back at how far you've come, that can fill you with encouragement and just get you back on track. So I think I'm back on track now. But I wanted to encourage you to, you know, if in doubt, create. If in doubt, look at your supplies. If in doubt, sort through your bits of forgotten work. You know, if in doubt, just be in a creative space, be amongst other artists, other creatives, and express yourself through your supplies. Express yourself, do some art journaling, make something. You know, a thing even like this could be expressing how, like, it's fragments of fabric. So even though things feel so fragmented and they can feel as if, you know, a little piece of fabric on its own, what are you going to do with that? You might as well chuck it. But no, it's like us. We're all here wondering what we can do about different situations and circumstances. And sometimes it's the smallest action that can mean the most. And step out and share what you have, encourage somebody else. It gives them strength to carry on. So yeah, I just encourage you that when you cannot find the words, and even when you can, dive into your creative activity, dive into the things that you say, oh no, I don't want to do that anymore, or I'm leaving it, or, you know, you never know what can bring you joy, what can just bring you some peace. And, you know, if you make it for somebody and say, you know, I just wanted to give you this, they might think, oh my gosh, nobody's ever given me anything like this before. In a positive sense, you know, it's just like, oh my gosh, that's so gorgeous. You know, fill it with some of their favourite, I don't know, could be, I was going to say sweets or whatever, but, you know, find something to do and express yourself, because in you expressing yourself, you help others in turn express themselves in ways that they never knew that they had. Take care for now.